Welcome to Red Eye. It's like, dude, where's my car? If by car, you mean chaps. Let's go to TV's Andy Levy for our pregame report. So, Andy, what's coming up on tonight's show?
Thanks, Greg. Coming up on the big show, MSNBC indefinitely suspends Countdown host Keith Olbermann for making donations to political campaigns. We'll run down a list of possible replacements straight ahead. Plus, Democratic pollster Mark Penn offers his advice on what it'll take President Obama to reconnect with the American people. The shocking story that will make you explode. And finally, the United Nations Human Rights Council turns its aim on a big target, the United States of America. Our all-star panel will discuss why it took so long for the UN to finally get serious. Greg?
Thank you, Andy.
You are a child, a silly dwarf, a weak and writhed shrimp, Greg.
Oh, half fish, half flesh, a plague on you. Thou art a soused gurnet.
I apologize for nothing except my horrible prompter reading.
Well, that wasn't so bad. I welcome a grisly accident in your life. Go away. Let's welcome our guests. I'm here tonight with freelance reporter Anna Gilligan. She's so hot that campers sit around her at night and sing Kumbaya. Stephen Cruiser, he hosts Planet Cruiser on PJTV. If Wit were a drum, marching bands would bang him during halftime. My repulsive sidekick, Bill Schultz. Fun fact, he went to a movie last night, and the film got up and left midway through. Sitting right next to me, U.S. Army Special Forces member Terry Shepard. He knows being a commando like I know going commando. Not wearing IDs, people. Yeah. His views are vapid, and his demise has been rapid. It's our New York Times correspondent. Welcome back, Pinch.
Here's the Sunday Times book review on George W. Bush's memoir, Decision Points. More like Decision Points. FYI, we misspelled decision and points. It reads better than it sounds, Greg.
That's very clever.
Thank you.
Well done.
Yeah.
All right.
Got a qualifier there.
Okay, good for you. All right. Well, Olbermann is over, man. Yep, public access network MSNBC said that it has indefinitely suspended the host of Countdown with Captain Crazy Pants. This coming after Politico revealed that Olby donated cash to 3 Democratic campaigns, seemingly against MSNBC's policy. MSNBC Prez Phil Griffin poops this statement, saying, I became aware of Keith's political contributions late last night. I wonder how. Mindful of NBC News' policy and standards, I've suspended him indefinitely without pay. While this was greeted with glee by those on the right, others wondered why it's a big deal that a partisan flamethrower gives money to candidates. As Reason Magazine's Michael C. Moynihan asks, is it unfair to hold Olbermann, who is one of the most partisan people on TV, to the same standards as, say, Brian Williams? Who's Brian Williams? I don't know. Website TV Newser claims insiders say Olby won't be back, while sources tell Red Eye that the list of potential replacements for Olbermann includes Larry the Lemur. Yes. I love him. Yes. Randy, the Rock Formation.
Socialist.
Yes. My Little Pony figure.
Also socialist.
I'm rooting for that one. And, of course, Betty White, because this woman cannot be stopped. Earlier tonight, our cameras caught up with Olbermann for an exclusive interview. He hasn't changed one bit. Keep strong, Keith. Terry, should he have been suspended?
Well, first of all, what? MSNBC is getting journalistic integrity? Okay, no, seriously. No, but you know, here's the thing. He's in charge of the highest rated show on a very irrelevant network. Let the man donate. You know what I mean? Like, I really don't think there's any reason to fire that guy.
Well, I don't understand. I mean, he doesn't pretend to be objective.
We know who he is.
Yes.
We know what he stands for. I mean, no one should, he's not using public funds to do it.
Yeah.
Hey, man, go donate to NAMBLA, whatever you want.
Yeah, NAMBLA.
Good luck with that.
Terrible. Stephen,
sorry, that was wrong.
Welcome to the show. Everyone knows, like I said, that he's a pinko communist. So why does it matter who he gives his money to? Or is it somehow influenced the way he does the show? I guess by excluding certain guests? I don't know.
I didn't think I would live long enough to see B-roll of a hand dryer being used in the background, first of all. So I've been all over the place on this today. I mean, again, like Terry said, I was pondering the irony of a network that would hire Keith Olbermann, suddenly claiming it had journalistic ethics and standards and things like that. But then the central problem here is that he's constantly railing against Fox News, ostensibly because Fox News spends money on candidates, okay? But in reality, he's railing because he got fired from Fox Sports 20 years ago or whatever. But so that's why this is relevant. He's still working out his angst with Rupert Murdoch, and now he's getting spanked for being caught doing the same thing he's been yelling about.
Oh, well put, my friend. And is it wrong to give opinion? I mean, if you're an opinion giver anywhere where there's MSNBC or anywhere else, should you not be giving money?
I don't think so. First of all, I'm hurt. I thought Pinko Communist was your nickname for me.
Oh,
but
you're Pinkette. You're Pinkette commie progressive.
I'm with Terry. I agree. I mean, it's no surprise we know where he stands, but I think it was very smart of them. MSNBC is in the news. His ratings will probably get better when he comes back, and I think Red Eye could take a page out of their book.
What?
And, well, you can't get hurt for contributing to political campaigns, but I think if you plan something like Andy streaking or something, it might not help your ratings, but TV Newser might pick it up.
Nice.
Bill, you must be devastated. Have you gone home to check on Keith?
No, he won't tell me where he lives. He's tried to run over me a couple times when I followed him as well. I was a little worried initially, but I found out that every campaign I've donated to has returned the checks and said, never mention us publicly, positive or otherwise. And this is, the rent is too damn high, Greg.
Yeah.
They need the money. They need the money and the publicity. I was offended.
Yeah. You know, here's the thing. I mean, he donated to people who were up against Tea Party candidates, and he hates Tea Parties. I guess, I mean, that's consistent, I guess, but who should replace him? I have a suggestion. Who do you think should replace him?
I actually have no idea who could replace that guy.
I think
he's irreplaceable, Keith.
I think I have a young, fresh face, Larry King.
Ooh.
He's leaving CNN. Just wheel him on over.
Either that or maybe another young, very bad Shakespearean wannabe actor.
Oh, that would be nice.
Someone that does a lot of that, and they suck.
Kenneth Branagh.
But Countdown involves a lot of yelling, and if Larry raises his voice, he dies.
Yeah,
let's be honest.
We don't want that,
that
to
happens. Yeah,
We don't want that to happen. All right, from blowhards to buttheads. So would an attack boost Barack? A Timothy McVeigh help him find his way? Mark Penn seems to think so. Yep, in an appearance on MSNBC, we're talking about them. The roly-poly Democratic pollster said Obama needs a bomb like in Oklahoma City to help reconnect with the people. Listen up, listen-uppers.
Cabinets don't really sell things. The president himself has to reconnect with the people. Remember, President Clinton reconnected through Oklahoma, right? And the president right now, he seems removed. And it wasn't until that speech that he clicked with the American public. Obama needs a similar kind.
You think words will work for President Obama at this point?
No.
Okay,
he's got to get some results. But words will work, I think, if he finds that right moment.
So I guess while Obama would kill a bunch of people, at least Obama would be popular again, and that's the important thing. Save us, Catafant. Save us. That is genius.
Wow.
You are in heaven, aren't you, right now?
Anytime I get to come on and see either fuzzy animals or, in that case, an elephant puppet,
That was a cat.
That was a cat.
It was not a cat. That had two eyes.
Behind of a cat.
The eyes on the butt of a cat.
So you told us.
Yeah.
See,
Yeah, you missed it completely.
Well, but in fairness, since it was a cat and there was fur, it was a cat mammoth.
Yeah, there you go.
Thank you.
Bill, I got to tell you, what was the worst thing about that whole,
Oh my! I mean, you're talking to someone who also has ears.
Yes.
I kind of get what he was saying. I think he worded it terribly, but it was how he said it. He was Peter Brady.
Yes.
It is time to change. You've got to rearrange. That he needs to go to voice and articulation classes before he gets in front of the camera.
It was the worst thing to say in the most possible worst voice I've ever heard in my life.
And once you thought it wouldn't get any higher, it got higher.
Yeah.
I've got a little crack in here.
Cruiser, does Obama need a disaster to reconnect with the country? Or there must be some other way, right?
I think the operative word there is reconnect, because you're presupposing that he was ever connected in the first place, which he was not. He's as aloof as the day is long, as detached can possibly be, and there's nothing for him to reconnect with here. And the worst thing about any Mark Penn appearance on MSNBC is usually the comb-over. And I was hoping that's all it would be yesterday. And then he got to this. I was watching this when he said it, and I went, he didn't, did he? And then I rewound, but no, there's nothing to reconnect with. He was never connected in the first place.
Anna, what do you make of this? Do you think
I disagree with you all. I think you're blowing it totally out of proportion. I think it's the old adage that, you know, you judge someone's character, you find what someone's character is, not when times are good, but when they're bad. And it's the same with leaders. You see what they're made of.
Right now, times are really good.
No, but there hasn't been a pivotal moment. It's kind of been this baseline crisis. And there hasn't been this one event that we can all remember and say this is how he reacted.
But okay, but he wants one though.
Look,
this is what I get. It is bad. We have a high unemployment.
Right.
We have two
right.
wars. If he can't unite the country around that, I don't think he deserves a tragedy.
Well, it's kind of funny. What he's saying, too, is that, in a way, I don't think he really meant it, but in a way it sounds like, gosh darn, I sure wish we had a man-made disaster for a teachable moment for Barack Obama. But the thing was, when President Bush was running the show, they were constantly, the left, was nailing him for, quote-unquote, using the war to try to push his point across. And now he's actually saying, I wish we had something like that so we could push our point across.
Well, by the way, the left...
We've heard this say before, though, because people said Giuliani became a national figure when 9/11 happened. It's the same thing.
You shouldn't articulate that. It's tactless. The other thing, too, is, I mean, let's face it, the left used the war in Bush with a drip, drip, drip of casualties against him all
the time.
And what's his name, Rahm Emanuel always say? Never let a crisis
go to waste.
Never let a crisis go to waste. That's just...
Well, and to that point, what were Bush's approval ratings like right after 9/11? They were the biggest they have ever been. His point is valid. A disaster does have the country people
Right.
rally
Well, then,
around.
Bill,
Wait,
let me get to my most important point of the night. Bill, your death could unite the country. Why be so selfish?
This assumes that the country watches Red Eye.
It's
This will
always
unite four dudes in their basement, and I want them to be united.
All right.
Half of them don't return mine.
Last word on this one, Cruiser?
What Bill was saying about Bush actually handled the situation, though, and Barack Obama's problem so far is that he hasn't been handling situations, and there's no reason to believe, based on what he's done so far, that if something god-awful truly happened, that he would handle it well at all and be able to gain any advantage from it. It would probably make things exponentially worse, and that's as serious as I'll get all night, I promise.
All right, to the Gregolog, you know what it is? It's a hair gel of genius in a salon of stupidity.
Nice.
Yeah, thank you very much. So just a day after the Republicans won big, President Obama ran screaming from the cap-and-trade program like it was a hooker with herpes. Remember, this was his solution for global warming. Curb carbon emissions by hiking the price of electricity and gas, forcing us to use less. Well, that's deader than the nerves in Nancy Pelosi's face, says Obama.
Cap and trade was just one way of skinning the cat. It was not the only way. It was a means, not an end. And I'm going to be looking for other means to address this problem.
And with that, we owe massive gratitude to the American people. By going to the polls and yanking one house away from Obama's control, they in effect blocked the largest tax increase in history. That's what cap and trade was. The higher prices it guaranteed would have showed up in your electricity bill, gas stations, and in everything you buy. According to the Heritage Foundation, my favorite Heritage Foundation, it would have cost the economy $161 billion in 2020, or $1,870 per family of four. By 2035, that number jumps to $6,800. And get this, during the few days the bill was debated in the House Energy Committee, Republicans put forth amendments to suspend the program if gas hit $5 a gallon, if electricity rose 10%, and if unemployment hit 15%. But the Dems smacked that down. That was the spirit of working together, which means cap and trade would have passed until the American public made a stink over health care. Obama expended so much capital and goodwill in that fight that it cost him this midterm election and the worst piece of legislation on earth. With no opposition party in place, it was the sign-waving folks in those tricorn hats who did the heavy lifting. God bless them. And if you disagree with me, you are a racist, homophobic, tricornophobe. Well said, don't you think, Terry?
Well, how do I follow that?
No, is it what? Do you think this is the end of global warming legislation for a while?
No, it's not. Well, yes and no. I mean, I hear President Obama already said that's one way to skin it. They're not done trying to do it.
Yeah.
And I think, I don't think anybody, listen, I think the human race has affected the planet. I'm not going to disagree with that.
Yeah.
What I have a problem with is crippling the United States economically and militarily, security-wise. I just think, again, yeah, we get it. Let the free market figure this out. But to have these guys come on and just find these ways to make things expensive, they got hammered on it.
He brings up a good point, Bill. He says skin a cat. Why would you do that?
You're asking this to me instead of Andy's Levy. I could be like, yeah, go ahead. That could be good TV. But Andy will not be for that. Believe me. Nor will Cat Defense.
alienating the anti-cat skinners.
Yeah.
There are about 30 million of them
Now,
out there.
I mean, all right, let's talk about security and money and stuff like that. You can say global warming all you want, but we get 10% of our oil from Venezuela, way more in the Middle East. Now, what Obama is trying to do is to force our hand into alternative energy. Alternative energy will stop us from putting billions into the pockets of our enemies. If you're against cap and trade, you hate America.
No, I agree with you. We need alternative energy sources, but it's not like solar panels and wind farms.